Oh, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's a lot to me. I think it's a combination of a persecution complex. For some reason,
Mhm.
they feel like they've been wronged, they've been lied to, and now they're the only ones with this knowledge that they have to, go and share with the rest of the world. But in another sense, I noticed that there was an article that I read about the decline in religion has led to the kind of
Yes.
increase in conspiracies theories, or people that kind of feeling
Yes.
that void. So
Mhm.
how do you separate that? How do you not fall for the religious aspect, but then not get caught up in needing that other that filler?
Yeah. I've actually given this a bit of thought, and the thing is, unfortunately, I think a lot of people need religion. It's just that it should be organized, moderate religion. The dumbest thing you can do with people like that, in my humble opinion, is cut them off from religion altogether, or uh, persuade them that religion is total bullshit, which it is, but they obviously don't agree with that, because what you'll do then is basically tell them to go get their fix somewhere else, and
Mm-hmm.
they will get it on some conspiracy forum online where there is no priest who belongs to an organized religion that can make sure that they all are taught the same things under controlled conditions, where they are basically um, they're taught, this and this is true, but that's not. Hold on, don't take that too far in that direction. There's some sort of control that can, most Christians are not complete morons. They're not complete assholes. Most of them are perfectly decent people who are not fanatics. But, cut them off from their churches. Where are they going to go? They still have that, like you said, that void that needs to be filled. If they're
Yeah, I'm
all
in
going to go
agreement with you
around
on that.
trying to find whatever fits that void, they're going to start believing in complete nonsense, or they're going to be radicalized.
Hmm. I think that's a legitimate point to make, actually.
I
And I
completely agree.
definitely agree. And I definitely agree that, on your analysis, that we as science people, my background was slightly in physics as well, even though I don't remember crap. So please don't ask me any technical questions about physics. I know the basics. Give me about maybe, like a 2-year student. So, I mean, I don't know the upper echelon physics any longer, but when people reference things like a scientific book, then we say, look, this is the information we're putting out. You can reference this textbook, you can reference this source, and that's fine. But when you have somebody doing it from a biblical perspective, that's what they're used to. That's all they think, it works.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm right. This is what it says in the Bible. But the Bible is
Mhm.
interpreted. I mean, you can do exegesis and hermeneutics and all this stuff and say, okay, I'm looking at it this way, that way. But it's not definitive as what we think of as in science as a reputable source for factual information. Now, you can say that certain events happen in the Bible. Totally cool with that, right? But the other things are faith-based, and there's no question about it. And I agree with you 100%. People, I have no problem with religion when it comes to that. I have no problem with people having beliefs. Never been a thing of mine. I only am concerned when those beliefs affect society in a way such as
Yes.
young creationism, flat Earth, and they're being indoctrinated in the school system, and people are taught false
Yes.
information that I can literally show is wrong. You mentioned Dr. Lyle, who I've been trying to get on forever. He won't do it. I'd love to talk to him about his asynchronous light theory with some physicists, but that kind of information I find to be destructive.
Yeah. Agreed. Completely
And by the
agree.
way, do you know who Dr. Humphreys is? Are you familiar with that
Yeah.
name, Dr. Russell Humphreys?
Mhm.
People may not know this, but Dr. Russell Humphreys just literally put a paper, quote unquote, to the Journal of Creation this quarter, where he mentions me, and the editor of the Journal of Creation actually has a blurb about the Great Debate community and me, and as a critic that has facilitated conversations with helium fusion rates, with Dr. Hinkie and Dr. Dr. Lachey. So if you want to go check that out, I'll have that available to you guys. But that's I think
What is the Journal of
awesome.
Creation, Steve?
Journal of
What is the
Creation
journal?
comes out every I think it comes out 3 times a year, and they basically have argumentation for things like the rate program. They have argumentation for what they would say gives evidence for younger creationism. And by the way, there's no real true peer review process for them. Don't get me wrong, but I have found out through Dr. Lachey, his first name is hard to pronounce sometimes for me, but that they actually do have some kind of process that they go through. I mean, he actually submitted a paper.
Oh no, they don't.
No, dude, check it. Dr. Lachey, who's a very legitimate physicist and really, really brilliant, he submitted a refutation, and they went through and they highlighted and notated, and so they do some kind of review, and they want him to resubmit it, and hopefully he has also acknowledged in the credits me as well, but there is some kind of at least review they do, but it's obviously not the same kind of peer review process. But Dr. Humphreys has noticed us. I'm trying to get the same thing for Dr. Lyle. So if we can get Dr. Lyle to notice us, would you want to have a conversation with him? I can make that happen?
Probably not. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Fair enough.
Honest about it.
No, these sort of debates / conversations / discussions, that's not really my thing, because you have to. The way I feel about doing, well, let's just call it live debates, is that it seems to only benefit the side that is wrong, because it's a contest in rhetorics. The facts speak for themselves. They don't need to be presented in a debate format.
That's still entertainment, though.
And true. That's
profound.
Deep and
true.
True.
It's entertainment. But then you have to be a good debater, and I'm not used to debating.
Yeah, it's for some, and you raise a good point, though. You raise a point that I've never thought of before. That is very true, though. It does only benefit the side that's wrong.
There's a reason why creationists want to debate, and scientists are saying, "Look, let's do science instead."
Mm-hmm.
That is interesting. I'm going to have to ponder on that now. I feel like I just got smacked in the face with wisdom.
No, but I will say that there are situations when there can be a debate where a creationist, for example, is completely destroyed in a debate. I mean, of course, that's always fun to see, and it can be I'm sure there were a few minds that can be changed in that way, but generally speaking, the only one who has anything to gain from a debate is the side that knows that they're wrong, because they can't present anything other than rhetorical tricks.
Yeah, Steve actually had a guy that he debated about young Earth creationism. The same day, actually, come back into the hangout and tell him that he was right, and he went from young Earth creationism to evolution. So, I mean, Steve, you got one thing that very rarely happens.
I've had more. Actually. Hunter Bailey used to be a young creationist until he met me. Believe it or not,
I'm sure Bailey? It happens. It's
very rare, though.
No, I've seen a debate between William Lane Craig and Lawrence Krauss, and I felt no matter how I twist and turn that debate, Craig won, and he's wrong completely. He was just a better debater,
Krauss
and that's
not a good
why he
debater.
won.
I'm sorry.
No, exactly.
Krauss is not good.
So what was the point of that debate? Why, if you're not a good debater, don't accept the debate. Just present the facts instead. You're
Krauss
still
just
right.
I'm with you on that, actually.
He just has a need, I think, to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he cares whether or not he's a good debater or not. He just wanted to get out there and put forth what he knows. You know, whether it be a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah. Yeah, he does give the impression, and I've actually talked to him on one occasion, and he does give the impression of being, and I mean this in the nicest possible way in case he's listening, which I doubt.
I doubt it, but
I doubt it. I doubt it.
I love his other stuff. I love his science. I'm a huge fan of him. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
Huge
but he
fan,
comes off as a completely arrogant asshole, and
Yep.
that suits him in the context of science. He's completely unapologetic. It's just, well, here's how it is. You don't like it?
Yep.
Go away. And that attitude, like I can appreciate that in a scientist, but in a debater, no.
Right. You gotta try to persuade people. I mean, he can back it up though. That's the thing. Like if you're an asshole that when with what you're saying, you can back up with the facts and evidence, then that's one thing. But like you said, when you're in a debate, your job is to try to persuade the people who are either on the other side or in the middle. Specifically in the middle, try to sway them more your way. And if you come,
and also, you can't present facts in a debate. You can just assert them. You don't have time to explain. You don't have time to educate people about general relativity or quantum mechanics in a debate.
That's true.
You can just say, well, here's what the science says. Okay. Well, the audience is not going to believe you.
That's all an average person could do too, right? Martymer, but just an average person who doesn't know the science. I mean, we don't expect everybody to have a deep understanding of quantum mechanics or evolution. None of us do. We have a tertiary kind of understanding of them, a very third level. I'm not a quantum physicist. I'm not a biologist. I just know what I know from college and my own readings. But I have a really, I think, decent understanding of a base level, right? And so I have a foundation to build upon. But the average person who may not know these topics, all they have to do is go cite the references. If they don't have to argue for it. They're going to say, look, here's what it says here. I argue with the person that the experts, right? Because I don't think people understand. They have no onus to defend evolution. They can just say, I accept evolution because what I read makes sense to me. There you go. Okay, done.
Right.
Great.
Yeah. And that's not going to be very helpful in a debate, though.
Right. No, not at all.
That's very true.
Right. And I think that like Krauss and Dawkins both suffer from that, philosophically speaking. They're so dogmatic in science, which, and again, I respect, but when it comes to philosophy and things like that, there's a lot of pause I have with them, to say the least.
They're very dismissive of when it comes to philosophy.
Yep.
And I don't like that.
I agree. Well, Martymer, we're going to kind of wind things down and do the last little bit of super chats that we have. We've kept you up way past 2:00. Well, once again, we apologize for that. We really thought that you were over here in the States with us. Had no clue you were staying up till 2:00 for us, but we really do appreciate that.
Well,
Steve, do you want? I know we're going to let you go. I promise. I wanted to let you know though that there was somebody in the chat named Time. He's one of our moderators, and he said that you were part of the reason he deconverted. So that's how I always like seeing that. When people are on, I think that's really cool. Steve, you want to?
Thanks for letting me know.
Absolutely.
No problem.
Want to close out with the super chats?
Yeah, last couple ones. Sandring again for another 20 says, "How lame am I that sending Klingon super chats is the highlight of my birthday? Oh man, dude, come pick me up, man. Go, you drive. Come pick me up, and we'll go have a beer together, buddy. I'm down for that.
Spend all of your money on you, sir. Buy the bar out. We do appreciate.
Go to a bar and buy everybody a shot.
To you, but spend it on you, sir. It's your birthday. Go ahead, Steve.
He says I think he said he has to drive in the morning. That's why he's not drinking, if I remember. And the Goddess Irwin, my favorite straw man of all time. By the way, who just recently got married. Congratulations, or my condolences, however you think about marriage. $2. Yes, Mrs. Snarky. $2. Love Martymer81. He effing rocks. There you go.
He does.
Thank you.
He absolutely does.
He does.
All right.
I'm a huge fan, actually.
We'll let you have the last couple words to let everybody know where they can find you, follow you on social media, all that good stuff. And if you have anything coming up that you want to let everybody know about, feel free.
Yeah, well, fallacy of the week coming up weekly, I hope. I've also got some responses to a creationist talk that I'm